Welcome to Fantasy Legends. My name's Scott, and today I've got 3 news stories for you. So it's well jam-packed today in terms of news of Final Fantasy. So the first one we'll go into is that Final Fantasy 8 has added controller support for Steam. Now, this is something I heavily criticise with the Final Fantasy games on the Steam store, that some of them just do not have controller support, like Final Fantasy Tactics, for example. It's such a shame, as the games were originally designed with a controller in mind, so having controller support for me would be essential. Now, the good news is that Final Fantasy 8 has finally caught on with this and now supports controllers. Now, the second news story that I have for you today is that Final Fantasy 13 is coming to the Game Pass. Now, this is a great addition, in my opinion, as this opens up a lot of new fans to Final Fantasy 13, as obviously it's free with Game Pass. I would recommend anyone that hasn't played it, or even if you have played it but haven't played it in ages, to just try it out. If you've already got Game Pass, it costs you nothing. You can see if you dislike it as much as you used to, or if you love the game, still love it. It's just a great opportunity to play the game that you might not already have on the newer consoles and just want to try it out again. So yeah, it's definitely recommended from me to try out Final Fantasy 13 on the Game Pass. Now, for our final news story today, and probably the biggest news story, is that Square Enix has confirmed that it has a 50-minute slot at the Tokyo Game Show. Now, could this mean that Final Fantasy 16, more information will be revealed from the game's producer? Well, we'll have to find out, I guess. What we do know is that the Tokyo Game Show will be broadcast at 7 p.m. on the 1st of October. Now, just to temperament the excitement a bit, is that Yoshida did mention that he may not be able to meet the deadline to show any new Final Fantasy 16 news. However, let's be a bit positive here, and they could wow us with lots more information about Final Fantasy 16, which I'm really looking forward to. However, even if they don't show any more Final Fantasy 16, we still have the rest of the Pixel remasters, Final Fantasy 5 and 6, to be announced on their due dates. It'll be brilliant to get them out before Christmas. Obviously, you've got other titles coming out from Square Enix as well, which are equally interesting. So let's see what happens there. I'll be sure to cover it. So that's all the news I have for you today. Please let me know what you're looking forward to. Are you going to play the Final Fantasy 13 again? Is it interesting that now you can play Final Fantasy 8 with a controller? Or are you just really excited for Final Fantasy 16 news? Whatever it is, I'm interested in it. So let me know in the comments down below. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it really does help me beat that algorithm. Thank you for listening.